going to be 0. And in the top right, as the brown Protoss, it will be free.
Here's the big question. Is free even going to get a third?
Wait, are you thinking he's going to go for like a 2-base timing attack?
I'm saying that he has not attained a third base yet.
No, he did the last game.
Oh, did he get a third there? Okay.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the attacks that I wasn't looking to see that he obtained a third.
I recommend that you learn to watch the mini-map every once in a while.
Oh, I do, but I was having a lot of fun that last game.
Yeah, that is true.
There was so much slaughtering going on, plus color commentating mandates that I only watch what's on screen.
But the mini-map is on screen.
Oh, you know, the main screen, the big one. The one with the flashy things.
But both are pretty flashy. Remember, we don't have tenure yet, so you gotta be vigilant here.
Yeah. We don't have tenure, and you know what? These guys are old as hell compared to us. Maybe not C. C's actually younger than us.
They have the experience, they have the knowledge.
They are our Hyungs. How do you say that? Youngs? Hyung.
Young.
Our wise elders. We should all take after Kim Carrier. I just love how he's just like, no one thought I would be a serious caster because I'd just goof off. And that's
nothing wrong with
block
goofing off
there.
here.
Going to prevent that hatchery from going down again.
And a pylon block. Okay. Here's the question though: where's that third base going to be taken by 0?
Yeah, because if he does take a far third, it's going to be a little bit of a travel distance.
Right, we might see the same thing happen as last game though.
Oh, look at that. The pylon cancel into block with the probe. So this is a little bit of a shouldering right here between both players, just kind of nudging each other out of the way. The natural base still not down, but the third base location is being occupied.
Zero. That actually happened about that leg speed before the +1. That game actually happened yesterday where Rain tried that against Effort. Went for the fastest leg speed time you could possibly go for off of Forge Expand. It almost worked out. Meanwhile, it looks like we're finally going to get that probe cleared out, and we're going to see the 3 bases down.
Yeah, that Legend matches series is actually pretty cool.
It is. You know, it's like 20 million base won, right? That's like a huge prize pool.
Yeah. And who's the guy who is running the show on this? Like
Kim Chulman. Kim Chulman.
Kim Chulman. That was pretty cool.
Right, meanwhile, I'm wondering why Free put down a second cannon though. Is he really afraid of the fact that it might be a 9 pool when it wasn't?
Yeah, maybe he did misread this, but there's pretty heavy gas mining right now. Got the 3 drones going up on this extractor here. Lair finally just kicking in here, and I wonder if we will see him pull probes or pull drones or just keep him on there.
I don't think there's ever any reason to pull drones off the extractor.
No.
Because remember, Zerg is always going to be gas heavy. That's their biggest constraint. Not the minerals. This probe trying to do his best to stay alive here.
Doing a great job so far.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we're just kind of seeing this early game come alive here. He's got the drones mining, but no gas yet at the natural base. And you take your second extractor just a little bit later in ZVP.
That is true. First up, marching his way across to that third base down here. Gonna be completely left open for the time being. Zero, of course, now finally setting out a couple of Zerglings.
So what do you think is going through Zero's mind after he just made that huge blunder on his third base? Is he expecting, Free to go for the same style with the Corsairs and, the Zella DT timing?
Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same thing, though, because that's actually pretty good timing, knowing that the third base is very hard to take on Circuit Breaker for Protoss.
Yeah.
having a very open minute-only third, very difficult to hold. But more importantly, though, like even if you want to take like a third with the gas, your best option is like a what, 9 o'clock, rather 3 o'clock here. That's an inverted ramp. That doesn't really help out.
Yeah, you gotta. Which base would you take? That is a good question here. You don't want to take the 12 because that's just too close to your Zerg opponent. You know, it's not going to be a good place to defend. So.
Well, you can take the 12 if you take the mineral only third.
Yeah, you would take that as your fourth though.
Right.
So. I mean, definitely a possibility that he could expand to the third. I think it just all depends on, you know, does the game go in his favor? Can he be aggressive to determine whether he would go for a gas base before the mineral?
Yes, we're going to see the +1/+1s coming up here, and the leg speed being researched as well.
Okay, so what kind of knowledge is Free going to get out of these Corsairs? He's flying them out on the map here. Spire obviously either on its way or done at this point. Yep, done. So Scourge will be available to deal with these Corsairs.
Right. And of course, Zero once again going to go for that very early fourth base, going to try to go for that late game management. Can he be able to pull it off this time? It's going to be the question. Already getting a preemptive second sunken. I do like this coming out from Zero.
So Zero, who suffered a ton of damage from the Corsairs last time and was very lacking of Scourge, do you think that he's going to build additional Scourge to try and kill off this Corsair count earlier on? Or is he just going to rely on his Spore Colonies to keep them at bay?
You know, there could be a little bit of both, because the last game, the reason he didn't really build that much, because Corsair didn't really do that much. Until, like, the final attack came in, where Zero thought he was absolutely safe with that one Spore Colony.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was, like, that really sick pick-off with the Zealots, just completely changed the flow, because the Corsairs could go crazy, and then the DT was basically undetected.
Right, so we're going to see a little bit of the same thing happen once as the previous map here, but look at this. Zero already added an additional creep colony. You're going to get that Spore right off the bat. Here comes Free. Stealth charging in right now. Fantastic SimCity by Zero. I don't think Free can break this.
No. That'd be really difficult. But that puts Free in an awkward position here because he wanted to come in and get the damage done. But since he can't, what does he do with those Zealots now that he has them?
Just keep trying.
Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where you have a big enough army where you just kind of float yourself between the third and the natural to just kill off units. But busting a Zerg base is so difficult.
Wow, there's actually a gap between a Spore and a Hatchery, though.
Oh, man. And that's a lot of Scourge out this time. Look at all those drones that are getting killed off. The Zealots doing a great job here with these attacks. And now the Zealots are inside of the main base.
Oh, my goodness. We got 5 Zealots with +1 in the main base here. It's going to be a huge problem for Zero to deal with. Even if he does clean it up, that's going to be losing a lot of Zerglings. I was surprised there's actually a gap between the Spore and the Hatchery.
Yeah, that was incredible. And there's a good amount of Zerglings here to help deal with those Zealots. So fortunately, Zero had a ton just on the payroll ready to go. But that gap isn't going to get fixed. The patch is still not there. So if Free wants to go for a run by again, he possibly could.
Right, of course. This is a great opportunity for Free to expand now. He does have all the map present. You're going to try to poke into the drone line here to get a couple drone kills, but I think it's going to make him lose his Zealots finally.
I think it's so funny, XKCD, that because of the huge success that Free had with Corsairs in the last game, we just saw so many Scourge produced. A ton of gas, too, which means that Hydras are going to come a lot later because of that Scourge production.
But that's okay for Zero. Zero wants to delay Hydra production as long as he can, so he's going to be perfectly content with, you know, having late Hydras. That's what the build's really allowing him to do, just delay his Hydras. But of course, Corsairs did get some couple overload kills. I mean, we are seeing that third base finally come up for Free.
Yeah, and now these Corsairs here are just going to try and risk maybe picking off another Overlord. Not worth it, though. Going to have to run away from that Spore, too. And, okay, so the third taken with the mineral only. So Free in a good position here to take the third. But if Zero identifies it, does he try and get really aggressive and just start sending out waves of units to pick off this extra Nexus?
You know, I don't think Zero wants to commit to heavily to taking that third out, because if he did, he would have went for a 3-base Zerg build. Because I think what Zero really wants to do is to keep Free on 3 bases all game and just not let him go forward. But here's the problem now. Yes, Free does have 3 bases, but Zero has 4.
And he's got like a well mining 4th base too. So tons of drones. He's basically at max drone production right now. So I feel like Zero has a pretty good economic advantage right now. And Free, you know, maybe he needs to take a faster 4th to get that extra gas.
But if he does take that fast 4th, though, that's where Zero will be ready to strike.
Yeah.
Remember, Zero's just going to be waiting for that 4th base to come up. Then we're going to start to see the very heavy, Zerg move out here. For now,
so if you're stuck on a mineral only 3rd, your probably best option is to drop a few more gateways and just pump a ton of zealots, right?
Yeah, get some zealots out, get some high templars. Maybe possibly start to transition to dragoons pretty soon. I'm surprised we haven't seen any dragoons being built yet.
Yeah, and kind of a staple mid-game composition is to have a control group worth of dragoons mixed in there. But I think that maybe just because of the style design of the map, that getting the zealots early on and maintaining zealot production is a little bit more effective.
Right, of course, we're going to see the the Hydras coming in here right now. We're going to get a lot of these zealots out. And now we do see that Free's going to want to expand to the 12 right now.
Yeah, he is posturing himself for that. But he's going to sit there and wait to see what kind of pressure Zero's going to throw in before taking that additional Nexus. Wants to be sure that it's going to be worth the investment.
Right. I would like to see a couple cannons go down immediately, though. I don't know if you... Let me... Look at that. You're good.
Wow, there's another one stuck there, too. Did you see the second one pop out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Dragoons are so sad. They're always getting stuck on bad gateway placements. That's just terrible.
Yeah, and here come all the cannons coming out for Free right now. So once Free secures his 4th base, we're gonna see either you're gonna try to maybe expand to a 5th somewhere, or just try to go all out with the attack here. The Hive is done, so we should see the Defiler done come out pretty soon.
Yeah, Zero's going to have to be careful, though. If he does take out this base, which is already going to be, a bit of a challenge between the Zealots and the High Templar, then he's going to have to try and escape as units come to defend from the 3rd location down to the 4th. You know, Protoss suddenly have the high ground advantage if the 4th base is lost. So it's really hard to go down to that fishbowl and try and take that engagement.
Right, the chat is talking about potentials for a Reaver. It'll be a great time to actually get a Reaver down there. Meanwhile, Zero is going to respond with a double expand here. Going to take his own mineral 3rd at the bottom, and of course the 6 o'clock base for himself.
At this point, I don't see that Reavers are going to be a better unit than High Templar. And if anything, High Templar should be used to kind of get up in the shuttles and drop around the map to start trying to dwindle down that drone count.
Oh, look at this, though. Here's that big Goon army. That's actually very susceptible to Hydraling, though. There's only one High Templar with that army. Where's all the High Templars?
Yeah, that's a good call. We've only seen a couple High Templars so far. But with that later gas means later masses of High Templars. But with a ton of Dragoons out here, Zero's going to have to respond with a ton of Zerglings. But he does have 2 control groups worth of Zerglings sitting at that natural base. So it seems like he is ready to engage at the point that it has to happen.
Alright, and look at this, though. Looks like Free actually finally did combine his army together. So he does have a better army composition for the time being. And, of course, the all-important Observer to give vision for these lurkers.
Yeah, but Zero is ready. He does have masses of units, and he's basically going to go for like a full surround here. He's going to try and attack from all different locations here, and letting these Zerglings with their speed just catch up to the Dragoons and power from the front here. The Storms, they're getting the lurkers actually in a good chunk of Hydralisks here, so not bad so far.
Not bad so far, but Zero wants to keep pushing into this, knowing that as long as he can keep dwindling Free's army down, he's going to have a lot of macro to easily macro up once again.
That was a great retreat from Free, though. He managed to keep most important units alive and kind of push Zero back. But now the re-macro is occurring, and Zero is going to engage one more time. He's got a nice arc with his lurkers, and the Dragoon count is actually starting to look small here. The Archon, a clutch unit coming down now too. There's no Zealots with this. The Zealots can't block on the front, and the Zerglings are just going to make their way towards the Dragoons. Free's in trouble, XKCD.
He is, yeah. He's actually a lot in trouble, though. The lack of high Templars in this battle really did not help Free at all. Free, and of course, and all this macro coming out from Zero here. He's going to keep pushing as much as he can, though. He actually might be able to take a base out with this.
Yeah.
Probably going to be looking to take that fourth base out.
I don't know if you guys heard, but I got so excited I knocked my coffee cup over.
Did you spill your coffee?
No, it's empty. But I just like swung my hand. I gotta watch myself.
Oh man, you gotta be careful down there in Florida.
Yeah, gravity's higher in Florida. So this high ground positioning actually finally a place where Free can have some solace here. And
right.
That's the hard part about this open engagement on all flat ground. You really don't have like a really good spot for your army to retreat to until you start to get back towards your bases.
Oh, look at this though. We're gonna see the double shuttle come in here from Free, but Zero already prepared for this actually. Got a couple Zerglings. I think those are gonna be some emergency sunken colonies as well.
Yeah, I just don't think DT drops are the most effective, especially with the good spores everywhere. But, well, I guess this DT might get some work done. Gonna one-shot these drones here.
Of course. Zero does notice it, though. They're already pulling the drones away from the hatchery, but here comes a little bit more, 2 more Zealots coming to the 4th base here.
Yeah, the nice thing is when he sees like 2 Zealots drop inside the space here, he's probably thinking, is there also a DT with it? Where would the DT be sitting? So now he's got to focus on like moving his overlords around and seeing if anything pops up on the mini-map, so that way he could go in and kill off the DT threats.
Oh, look at it. The shuttle finally does get sniped here. Going to lose the shuttle and the DT inside of it. The DT actually lives. You can see it in the bottom of the map. Outside that middle, outside the 6 o'clock base, but here's the thing though, we do have the robotic support out for Free, so there is the potential for Reavers, and this is actually a way better army composition now for Free. You can see way more Zealots, still have the good Dragoon count, and the most important part is the high Templar count. Here comes the big push.
Yeah, but if he tries to break this, he will definitely lose his army again. The one advantage he has is the units coming from the right are trying to get across this bridge, and it's not going to be very efficient here. And so Free is just going to want to try and take out these units that are going to try and defend this natural base. But he can't bust this natural. He's still going to lose if he goes for the natural. He's just got to kill off the army.
Right, here's the question though. We're seeing it happen right now where Free loses engagement once again. What can Free do?
Well, right now, I don't think that he's lost. He's still got a few High Templars in here. He's taken out these lurkers, and it seems like a good chunk of the army has been carved out. But Free, maybe he has to start focusing on, is a 5th base something that I need to get?
Right.
He doesn't have an economy out of the main base anymore. Completely mined out on his minerals, and his gas is nearly depleted, if not at this point in the game.
Mm-hmm. And Free, and looks like Zero's gonna hold. Look at that, gonna make 8 lurkers right in front of Free.
Yeah, but this is what Protoss needed to do. They needed to just force that engagement, have an efficient trade, and then go back again and retreat. So now he's got to focus, maybe trying to bring his army out and attack at a different location. But Free's army right now is really small because he didn't have the best engagement possible, and Zero's macro is just going insane.
Right, but Free will take out this 6 o'clock hatchery as a, I guess, a consolation victory.
Yeah, he's taken out a lot of these extra bases, and, even Zerg can start to mine out their bases, so mineral counts are going to start to get low. And look at that, and the shuttle just threatening different locations again. Is it going to get taken out? Yes, it does! Shuttle going down.
Yeah, but the hatchery does go down, and Zero didn't cancel the hatchery at the 3, but it's only 300 minerals at this time.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too much of a hit for Zero to lose. Meanwhile, though, Freakin looks like he's going to expand to that 3 o'clock base. Good choice for him. We'll be able to defend it, though. That will be the big question.
Random group of Hydras here. Kind of out of control, and they will get taken out. Some free pickoffs for Free's army here.
Here comes the big Zealot attack. A little bit of a big Zealot attack coming to the middle-only base here. But it will be controlled. And here comes Zero Swarm.
Oh, the Storms are going to have to be perfect here to kill off the Lings before they can engage. But killing off these Lings means that the Lurkers are going to be free of the Storms here. Is there an Observer? Yes, there is. So at least the Observer can detect these Lurkers. But the High Templar, they may need to turn into Archons right now before they die off. But no, it's going to be too late.
Oh.
He's just going to lose all the High Templar. And I think that may have been a death blow.
That possibly might have been. That 3 o'clock base will be ripe for the opening, as Zero's be able to really shut it down anytime he wants to.
That was a lot of High Templar that died off.
It was.
You know, that's the problem with not having an Archon in that mix, is Archons can trade really efficiently against Zerglings. So what you can do is use 1 or 2 Archons to deal with the Zergling wave instead of Storms, and then that few extra High Templar that you have saved up, you can use to storm the Lurkers.
Right. Free does need that fit base, though. He's trying his hardest he can, but I think what's going to happen is he's just going to keep rallying units to hit this side of the map for the time being.
Yeah, this is just like a massive mineral dump, though, into Zerglings that didn't really get that much done. Free still surviving here, able to push him back. What's the upgrade on... Oh, Ultralisks! Oh. It doesn't matter what the upgrades are. The cows are out. And this is like the one time where I will say, yeah, Free should get some Reavers.
Yeah, fully upgraded cows, though. No ultra speed just yet, but doesn't really matter at this point.
The cows of sadness making their way to the natural. GG.
GG. Too many cows.
Hey, there is a cow level.
That is a good reference, B2 Dagger.
Thank you. Well, Zero looking sad as usual after a victory. God, you know, maybe we're spoiled, but Sharp looks 20 times happier when he wins a game.
So we are going to see Zero up 2-1. The next game will be a match point. Good opportunity for Free to bring it to game number 5.
Oh, I'm reading it. You know, as I was talking about the Legends guy, Kim Chul Min earlier, he's the Rebo and Plague guy.
Yep.
That is awesome. I was like, I knew who he was, but I couldn't remember what he did. You know, that really put him on the map. So that is awesome. It's really cool that he's posting in the Team Liquid forums too. So guys, if you want to show your support, and the Korean community seems to be realizing that there is still like a foreign presence, and that we like watching these games and are interacting more with us. You know, having English sponsored casts, having him post inside Team Liquid, that's really, you know, steps forward from where we were.
Yep.
Yep. I feel like you need a beer in your hand to sip on when you say that. You're like one of the guys in the alley on King of the Hill.
I'm not going to have a beer at 5 in the morning, BC Dagger.
A beer at 6:22, though. That is a good beer.
That is true, but I'm at 5:22 because I am in the Central Time Zone.
What? You crossed the border?
Yeah, I'm on vacation, remember?
Oh, what? So you vacation to like, to West Wisconsin?
No, to my family's house.
Where's your family located?
Yeah, I will say it is in the Midwest.
You're staying away from the hurricanes and tornadoes, though.
That is true.
Okay, good.
Save the world. Hit.
Those tornadoes went crazy.
다운로드 받으세요.
요즘 화장품 뭐가 좋지?
Yeah, so
틴트?
we're seeing Zero with a game with a 1-game lead. So up 2-1 now. he could close it out with just one more victory on match point. A map where you can proxy hatch in your main of an opponent.
And we have seen it happen already.
Oh yeah, we have. This is a spicy tournament.
Those are some spicy products.
You know what? I feel like we should be spokesmen for commercial products, like in the middle of the night. What is it? Who's the advertiser that runs like 24 hours?
I don't know, man. I don't watch it.
But you know that all the infomercials for stuff that you can buy that start at like midnight, and all the old people see them and buy them. Which questions? Why are old people up between 12 and 5 a.m. is the bigger question.
They're old. Let them do what they want.
They slept all day and now they can't fall asleep. It's like my dog. My dog's 16. And during the daytime, he's like, oh, I'm so tired to deal with the sun. But then he keeps me up all night.
Well, that's okay, though, because you are awake right now casting the National Star League.
True that, true that. The Husky's been outside all morning. Hasn't even tried to come back in.
Does he need to come back in, though?
It's a she. Her name is, get this, Delilah.
I'm sorry, that's a terrible name.
For a dog, I did not name Delilah. So, but she is a wonderful addition to the family. Huskies are absolutely awesome. Siberian Husky, no less. So you can relate to her.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're like part Siberian.
No, I'm Slavic. That's not Siberian.
You don't get it. That's all the same to me.
Well, you need to expand your worldviews, PC Dagger. There is more to life than just Florida.
Do I
Hey.
need to expand my views like the hydrogen bomb was expanding in North Korea yesterday?
You do.
Yeah. There's a pretty good Onion article about how Kim Jong-un claimed that he went to the moon and back in one night.
He can claim all he wants, man.
He did, like, no kidding, claim that he had a cure-all for, like, every disease. Cancer, Ebola, you know, everything.
I wonder why the rest of the world isn't asking for it.
I'm pretty sure, though, if they really had a cure-all that they invented, that the rest of the world would be like, well, we're not going to pay this guy, and they just conquer him instead.
For the knowledge.
China just goes, thank you, and absorbs North Korea into their blob of awesomeness.
Is it really awesome, though?
I don't know, China's kind of cool.
Heroes of Incredible Tales.
That was a good one. But that's just Legacy of the Void crap right there.
Oh, get hypered? What is that? Looks like the word hype was lost in translation there. Bit unfortunate.
Get hyper!
Hashtag restart, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag epic. Hashtag. Hashtag legend. Hashtag commentators.
Woo! Man, you're good at live tweeting.
Dude, I am. I've been working on my Twitter game.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to start live tweeting too. I'm gonna hashtag everything verbally.
Yeah, just tweet about your work.
Yeah. Hashtag slacking off. Hashtag going to get coffee. Hashtag don't F with me right now. I am tired and angry.
Hashtag compiling.
You know, in Unity, there's minimal compiling. I love it. But on the other hand, when I worked in like Visual Studio C++ projects, I had like 5 minutes of compiling on some major projects. And it was a good excuse for me to get out of my chair and walk around and get some exercise. I literally don't get up.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm getting stagnant blood flow in my thighs.
That's why I just drink. What you should do is like, instead of having like a big water bottle at work, you just have like a small cup. That way, whenever you have to compile or like run a test, just get up and you refill that cup.
Yeah, I do that after lunch, actually. I switch from coffee to water in the afternoon, and so I usually get like a small styrofoam cup so I can get up continually to get water. So that's a pretty good idea, XKCD.
That is. That's what I do. The more you know.
The more you know.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be game number 4 here.
Yep, and in the meantime, to strengthen my casting, I have been doing my workouts consistently.
That is good to hear.
Yesterday, I did the bodyguard workout, and today I will be doing the body hack.
When will you do the body casting workout?
Right now, XKCD, we're going into game number 4 on Match Point, our 2-player map. Shouldn't be too hard to find out these spawns.
Nope, in the top right as the white Zerg, we're going to have 0. In the bottom left as the orange Protoss, we will have Free.
Guys, just when you think we couldn't be talking about more nonsense, we get right back on topic.
Or do we?
Do we? You know, I was thinking that 0 would win 3-1 against Free. So I'm kind of hoping that my prediction works out correct here. So I can be that godlike in predictions.
I mean, that's what I think everyone in the Brood War staff has the 3-1 for 0.
I know. It's such an unoriginal prediction. Although, Tupacalypse and V1, so our head staffer and then our lead graphics guy both predicted, what, Free to win? Or was it Gwimchi that they picked to win?
I'm not sure. I'm not reading the thread right now. I'm watching some awesome Brood War here.
Oh man, I've got to figure this out. If they predicted Free to win, I just feel like they're completely off their rocker, and we need to challenge Tupac to become the top staffer ourselves.
No.
Topple his tyranny.
So here's the plan, though. Don't tell anyone else, but I'm trying to add Brood War to my staff harem. I got the CSGO staff under my control.
Yeah.
I'm slowly working my way up the Brood War staff.
I'm too erratic for you to control me. Okay, so V1 actually predicted Free to win here, and Tupac went off the grade and predicted Gwimchi to win.
Oh boy. So we're gonna see a 12 hatch coming out here from 0, as it is a 2-player map, so you can get away with this. Meanwhile, we're gonna see that Forge come down for Free.
Yeah, one of the easier times for 0 to get his natural base. How about that?
That is true. And the Nexus should be up now.
Wow. I like how you predicted that as the Nexus came up.
Oh, I must be at 1 second ahead of you then. Whoa,
well, I'm ahead of you because I saw the Nexus first.
Whoa, whoa, BC Dagger, hold your horses. Look at that positioning of that 3rd hatchery. I have never seen this before.
Let's think here. Is this an unnatural 3rd? What kind of craziness is coming from here? Well, you know what he's doing is he's getting a gas, first of all. But it's going to be harder for the probe to find a 3rd base. I mean, Free's going to find it. It's not like it's a mystery.
Alright, it is not a mystery, of course, but is this going to be indicative of Mutus?
Well, I mean, if it's Mutas, you would think that he'd want to get rid of the probe scout first, and then drop down an extractor inside the natural afterward, so he can at least hide that it's Muta play.
But he's probably gambling on the fact that Free hasn't checked out the 3rd bases, or at least the potential 3rd bases yet.
Yeah, that's true. And now the scout is heading down to the bottom right. Still no 2nd extractor though.
Nope. Doesn't really need a 2nd extractor right now. He'll probably get it when you start to produce his lair.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to be on that watch here to see what's going to happen. Meanwhile, really just only building a couple lings too. Okay, now we see that the ling count is up to 4, and he's going to want to get this probe out of here. Basically wants this killed off if he can.
Right, no, Free could be really thinking. He already checked the mineral-only third and the fourth base. He's not seen the third hatchery yet. He has to be very curious about where is that third hatchery.
Yeah, I think if he does not scout the 12 o'clock base, then he deserves to lose this game, because this is, you know, a go-to. Okay, something's going on here. I need to just check to make sure that he did not take a third anywhere else either.
Oh man, he was actually sending out the Zealot to scout, but then he decided to pull back. So it's actually like one of the worst times to pull back that Zealot.
Yeah. But maybe he knows now anyway. He can assume because he went inside the main base and he didn't see any additional hatcheries. So I'm thinking that he knows no matter what.
That might be the potential case, but we'll have to find out how you will be able to play with that information, or rather the lack of information, in the next couple minutes here. The first Corsair already coming out, and once again we're going to see the +1 weapons for the Corsairs. Free might just be going for the same build.
Yeah, I like the fast +1. Corsairs are pretty effective with that additional attack upgrade. And, you know, if it was Mutas, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be more difficult for the Mutas because of the +1.
Of course, the Force Corsair is already out now for free. The Spire only 5/6 of the way done.
We do see that the natural extractor is taken.
Yeah, that's actually, that is pretty early, so I'm really thinking this might just be like a very heavy airplay.
But nothing too unusual showing. And look at this. The Corsair is going to make its way over to the 12. He is going to see it and go, huh, okay. That confirms my suspicions.
Right. And actually, no, now that I'm really thinking about this third, like, it's actually not a bad place to take, because generally that's actually one of the hardest places, like, bases to take late game. So if you take that now, you need to have that third gas secured.
Yeah. And in a way, it's easier to defend against Zealots.
Right. Very easy to defend against Zealots. And most importantly, though, like, once you get the Lurkers out, it's actually kind of difficult to even touch that base.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard to break. And you know, everything's pretty good for Zero no matter how this early game goes.
Meanwhile, we do see Free actually clumping up his natural by hoarding all of his gateways down there.
A really fast DT coming out here, and, you know, was he able to see the small blur of the DT walking under the Scourge, or was Zero not paying that much attention? Probably didn't see that the DT is out. But it's going to head to that third base right away.
That is true. Will the DT build any damage? I don't think so. There's already a couple of overlords at that third base.
Yeah, that got repelled so quickly. You can see just getting inside that choke is going to be a hassle. You know, with that additional macro hatchery, the sunken in the back, everything's kind of placed out really well. And we do see that the Mutas are starting to gather.
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult for the Mutas, though. Free will have the +1 on its Corsairs pretty soon, if not already.
It's going to all come down to really nice Scourge hits. And this is what he's going to want to do right now, is catch the Corsairs off guard with their smaller count as possible.
That is
this
true.
Is getting really intense. All the units are moving to the left. XKCD are the Mutas going to catch him off guard? Free knows this is going to happen. It's got to go down right now. The brawl occurring. And a lot of the Scourge die off so easily. Free playing really well against that attack. But another set of Scourge are coming in.
Yeah,
wow.
But you know, they did get one Corsair, though. That's something for himself.
Hey, XKCD, I have one question. When did Top Gun get turned on? Because these dogfights are getting insane.
Well, are we ever gonna see the volleyball scene, though, in Brood War?
That's right. Free and Zero all of a sudden take their shirts off and start tossing a volleyball between each other.
That sounds like a great thing to do right now.
You know, we were talking about StarCraft boxing in the last cast too, where every 5 minutes you take a 1 minute break to start wailing on each other.
I know. That should seriously happen.
Oh, man. But Zero versus Free volleyball match after this. A great exhibition match I would enjoy.
All right, the third base coming up now for Free. Going to take his middle only third here. There's that scary, Scourge Force though, but there's already a Archon now.
Yeah, the composition that Zero's going for actually makes it really easy for Free to expand.
It does.
There's not a huge ground force that can, just run in really quickly and apply pressure and then come out. Yeah, and so Free, he's going to take that Nexus and not have any trouble.
Meanwhile, Zero might actually just expand to a fourth himself.
Yeah. Oh, here come the Scourge again! Going for the huge hits, and no! Just going to pull back right in time. Wow, this is like, really passing ZVZ. But no, the Scourge hits do come in here.
Here's the problem, though. Zero's actually taking a lot of damage on his Mutalisk. He needs to make sure he doesn't take too much damage. Meanwhile, these Scourges will get shot down by the cannons. Well, here comes the Hydras busted in right now. They're actually going to do a lot of damage to these Corsairs.
Yeah, Hydralisk coming in for the high ground here. Gonna basically deter this base. And this is what I thought that Free was going to be free from. But no, the Hydralisks do come in here and eliminate the third anyway. So that wasn't really well defended.
Oh, here's the problem. No speed for the Zealots, though. Where are the Nike shoes?
Yep, they better put them on. And unfortunately, they're gonna have to like slowly walk towards their deaths. It's like trudging through mud towards like a giant wolf.
That is true. All the Mutalisks will go down to the Corsairs, but the Hydra Force is still a wrecking.
Oh man, I think this may be the end for Free. This is looking like a really strong force here. Free not having the necessary upgrades to deal with this. Oh, decent Storm though! No way! Storm cutting off the left side, like chopping off the legs of the wolf now. Free has an opportunity to push out here with the Archon in the background. If the Archon dies though, so much DPS will be lost.
Oh man, the Archon does go down, and what does Free have? Just the DT.
Yeah, he's got that one TT that is just going to work, wailing left and right hooks on top of these Hydralisks here.
Meanwhile, the Corsairs are trying to do what they can, try to snipe some Overlords, but man.
This is like the most inefficient exchange of Hydralisks versus DT ever. Oh my god! How many Hydralisks did he just throw away right there?
He threw away a lot, piece of dagger.
That was ridiculous. Oh man, almost Tyson stairs right there.
Good puns are coming out of the chat here.
That's all that can come good out of the chat right now, are puns. Keep it up, guys. Today's a good Thursday, isn't it?
It is. Fantastic Thursday.
Man, I can't believe Free's still alive. What a turnaround. That clutch DT. And why did he not send an Overlord over? Or did the Corsairs clean up any Overlords that were being sent to the map?
I believe the Corsairs actually just mopped up everything.
Yeah.
Free does need to take that third base. He has that the 8 gateways working for him, though. He wants to go for a 2-base attack right now.
You know, how would this game have panned out if Free went for the 6 o'clock instead of the mineral-only third?
That would have been pretty interesting, because I don't think Free would actually be able to pull it off.
Yeah, it's definitely just one of those things again where it's a really hard base to engage. The Hydralisk would have to basically funnel themselves in. The only threat would be Mutalisk coming in and sweeping up over the ridge and going away, which the Corsairs would have defended the Mutas.
Right, yeah, like if you went for say that for like Sarah Reaver, which is, not really in the meta game right now, that actually would have worked out. All you do is just park Reavers behind that bridge, and there you go.
Oh, look at that! The cancel on those Hydralisks.
Yeah, the Hydra's trying to do as much damage as they can before they make themselves into lurkers.
Yeah, and that was a lot of lurkers that were about to morph too. I wonder why he decided he just needed to refund his bank there.
That is still a pretty scary Zealot force. Now they have speed. Got the Nike shoes.
Yep.
Are they going to try to charge away into the natural?
Yeah, the Usain Bolt Zealots are going to get themselves away from that natural base.
But here's the thing, though. Like, having that Zealot, run around the map, is actually going to force Zero to pull back some of his units. Going to give Free a little bit more breathing room to try to take that third base once again. But you don't have to deal with lurkers this time. And he hold. Ooh, the observer, though. That's going to be quite a big help.
Yeah, a lot of lurkers are coming in here. Everything's poised at the top of this ramp. It's so hard to defend this third. It's going to be really difficult for Free. He has the low ground disadvantage. You know, how can he deal with this? The Dragoons are out, though. His Dragoon force is pretty sizable.
That is true. The next is already down and completed.
But does he have the range upgrade finished? That's another key upgrade that he needs to have if he wants to engage here.
You need the range. You need multiple. You need to get some fantastic storms pulled off here.
Oh, one storm does go off, and unfortunately, I would not call that one fantastic. It does get one of the lurkers, though. So at least it clears up a little bit of the ramp. Oh, decent storm there. Hydral's getting caught up.
Yeah, it's a good storm as well, but there's still so many lurkers. Man.
At least Zero brought his overlords this time. Does not want to risk another catastrophe with DTs.
That is true, Beast of Dagger. Meanwhile, Zero's fourth base is now up and mining at the mineral, only third. And we're seeing a drone being sent out to take that bottom right base, looks like. No, that was just a drone being macroed.
And look at this. I love what Free's doing because Zero right now, if Free didn't move out with these Zealots, could be taking an easy 5th base too. But instead, now that these Zealots are out on the map, getting get aggressive, gonna stress Zero's attention here, which is what Free needs to do if he wants to win this game. And he's getting some really good shots on these lurkers too. You can see that the range upgrade is now kicking in. The Observer is doing a great job of finding these units, and Free looks like he will be taking his third base.
Right, he'll be taking the third base. More importantly, though, he's going to get control of the high ground back into his favor.
Yeah, and how quickly does he start thinking, I also need a fourth? Or does he use the economy that he's getting from his third mineral line to just pump in a bunch of extra Zealots and go for a strong push first? Try and take out maybe this fourth base for Zero.
It's always a good time to just be thinking about that fourth, but here's the thing. Free really wants to make something happen. Looks like he's trying to get himself to attack. Go for a big attack here. Will Zero be able to hold?
Yeah, Zero's got himself in a pretty good position here. Still another climb for the Protoss units to get onto the high ground. The Dragoons are pushing in here, but it's really not a good composition for Zero, to be honest. He's got a lot of Hydralisks here, and the storms are just going crazy. The blankets are just dwindling this down, and okay, so a bunch of Dragoons just died off really quickly, didn't they, XKCD?
That is true. Not having any Zealots, though, the buffer the Dragoons are going to be discontinuous. And the Archon does go down as well, so Free's going to have to go back. He actually just threw away a lot of his army.
Yeah, that was a very big mistake. I think what Free did good was eliminate a ton of lurkers and kill off some Hydralisks. But then he needed to retreat as quickly as possible to get to the help of his Zealots here. Instead, Zero's macro has just turned around, and Free is going to have to play super defensive now.
Right, that's quite a big of an overextension there by Free. He's not going to be able to take that fourth base now. It's going to be suicide if he tries to.
Yeah, he really squandered that opportunity. Does he have a probe or a pylon sitting at that fourth base is what I've been questioning.
I think that this might be a probe for now, but a little bit of a skirmish here outside Free's natural. Both players equally trading their units.
You know, when there's no Zerglings around, Free is actually microing and trading really well against the Hydralisks and the Lurkers. The problem is, as soon as the Lings come in to reinforce, he's got nothing there and he loses a ton of his Dragoons. He's got to really think about when to pull back after a really good engagement.
You see that Free's actually starting to get quite frustrated with himself here.
I was definitely noticing his body movement here too. It's like one of those moments where you're hot, but you also wear a turtleneck, and you're like, oh, I'm feeling so suffocated. No one likes turtlenecks, let's be honest.
Hey, some people do.
Turtles.
So
two storms coming out here, working their way on the army. Oh, I had a bad joke to follow, and I kept it from the cast.
Oh, it's a good time to pull it up right now.
Oh, fine. I was gonna say also Chinese enjoy a good turtleneck. Oh man. All right. So the action's continuing here. Quite a few lurkers morphing, but a nice little storm there. Pops the eggs.
That is true, but this actually might just be Free's last hurrah. He's already down to 1 mining base. His main just has a couple mineral patches, though.
Yeah, and if Free does lose here, he probably could make a good cheerleader for the semifinals. Uh-oh! Hands on the head! There's no more micro coming from Free.
No, it's going to be the GG here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to call it GG!
Zero advancing to the round of 4 as expected, though.
Zero chance for Free to win. Free wins for 0. What a series.
What a great pun.
What a great way to end the cast.
Okay, I'll give you some freebies for that.
Thank you. I take 0 responsibility for myself.
Man, we are on fire in the last couple seconds.
You know, that's what happens when it starts to near normal daylight hours.
That is true.
For me, at least.
So it actually did go one as we predicted. The 3-1.
Yeah, the majority of staff being correctly here. Unfortunately, V1 was the only one to drink the Kool-Aid.
Hey, sometimes Kool-Aid is good to drink.
Until they poison you in, like, Colombia or South America, wherever it happened.
But that actually happened?
Yeah, there was, like, that was an actual thing with the guy who ran the cult. And he brought everybody to, like, this village in South America. And then he gave everybody poisoned Kool-Aid.
What a silly guy.
Yeah. Some people were smart and were like, well, I just gave this to my kid and my kid died. Maybe I shouldn't drink it. And then some were like, well, my first kid was okay, but the second one's an asshole. He needs to die. Anyway. Oh, well, it looks like we're missing a caster, XKCD.
Yeah, it's the interviewer.
You know what I'm thinking? They actually were listening to the English cast and were like, man, this 2-caster concept is amazing. You're fired, third caster. He's been laid off.
Alrighty.
Oh, here he is. Fine. Okay, retaining his job, going in for an interview with 0. Guys, this is going to be the conclusion of our cast.
Here's the problem, though. Nobody fires Lee Swang Wong. You know, Blind Right in the chat is correct. You don't just fire a man with tenure.
Yeah, you do not fire that man. He's got a fancy pocket chief going on. Fly haircut. I'm going to get a haircut like this, too.
You would have to grow a hair out first.
Translation for this interview is in the LR thread. Let's see if that's possible. Did someone do that? No way.
Well, I'm refreshing as fast as I can here, Beast Dagger.
I have to do my additional clicks here. Let's see. I don't see anybody translating into LR thread.
Well, we'll give him some time here.
While we give them time, guys, 0 obviously winning 3-1 against Free, but next Monday, it's going to be Gwinchi versus Effort, January 11th. I think this fight is actually going to be a little bit closer. Although I think the games were good, I just felt like 0 was very dominant. Gwinchi, though, definitely an opportunity to gain some stature here.
That is true.
Guys, join us next Monday. I am BC Dagger, along with my caster XKCD. You can find us on Twitter, and we do have our Twitch accounts, but I haven't used my Twitch in forever, just because we've been streaming with Africa and haven't needed to use my Twitch.
That is true.
And usually when I do cast with like non-national Star League stuff, I'm just letting someone else stream because I'm lazy.
That is also true as well.
Yeah. But that'll be the conclusion of today, guys. Let's thank our sponsors for Advanced Star League, the Team Liquid staff for putting out a great preview for the final 2 sets of the quarterfinals. And what do we have? What's the mobile game?
Heroes of Incredible Tales.
Heroes of Incredible Tales. Thank you to them too, Kongdu, all the casters over with the Africa team and Africa itself. But it is time for me to go to work.
And time for me to go back to sleep.
That's right. So everybody take care. If there's a translation, go and read it in the LR thread, please, on Team Liquid. Take care and goodbye.
Alright, we will see you guys later.